Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. It is Monday, June 6th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you? How was your weekend? Are you ready for a new week of MLB?
I'm doing well. I am ready for a new week of MLB. I'm ready for my Brewers to get healthy. Man, they've really been struggling lately with all these injuries and everything. It's really caught up to them. Plus, they had like 17 games in the last 18 days, and a lot of those were on the road. So they need the day off today. So I'm glad they have the day off.
Yeah, speaking of that, it is a light slate today. We're
It
used to
is.
9 million baseball games,
Yep.
but we really only have 6 and probably 5 because looks like Cincinnati's looking pretty dim weather-wise, and
Mhm.
it's possible that it could go down to 4 if it rains in Cleveland. I'm counting Cleveland in right now. So really a mini slate for baseball. Very unusual, but
Yeah.
still some
Definitely.
good plays and some good fades, I think. So
I agree.
we'll see if we can start the week off hot here. We call it Money Monday at Coach Talk. So let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Let's jump in, start right off as we normally do. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for taking some time here with us on this Monday. We are sponsored by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com, hit the promo code Coach Talk, put that in there, and with your first deposit, they will match you dollar for dollar up to $100. So prizepicks.com is where you want to go. Use that promo code Coach Talk. If you're watching on YouTube, take a second right now, hit that thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. And while you're at it, that little alert in the corner, that'll let you know when all of our free in front of the paywall podcast post, MLB, NBA, and of course, PGA also in front of that paywall. All right, my friend, pay up pitcher. What is your direction today?
Yeah, I'm looking at Christian Javier. He is 9,000 on Fanduel, 9,100 on Draftkings. He's my favorite pay up option on this slate. He faced Seattle at the beginning of the month, last month on May 3rd, and he pitched 5 1/3 shutout innings. He struck out 4 for 34 fantasy points. In his last start, he struggled with his command a little bit against Oakland, so he only got to pitch 4 innings. But I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. Against Seattle, they've scored the 8th fewest runs per game at 4.08 runs. So I like the bounce back game here for Christian Javier.
I'm with you, my friend. I am going Christian Javier as well for all the reasons you said. I think his price is super fair too. Like you said, 9,100 on DraftKings, only 9,000 on FanDuel, and only 44 on Yahoo. That just seems like on this type of slate. Now, normally that would be priced right, but with all the pitchers that he's going against, he just seems to step out above that, and he generally goes deep enough in games to really get you some points. And I think the fact that he only made 4 innings because he was just a little bit all over the place for a period in that last game. I think he gets deep in the game, enough strikeouts. And again, like you said, Seattle scuffling a bit. I think Javier is a sound pick for pay up.
Yep.
How about your value, sir? Wonder if we have the same there as well.
I bet we probably do because there isn't a whole lot on this slate. Yeah, it was going to be Hunter Green, but it looks like that game's going to be postponed. So I'm going to go with Cal Quantrill. He's 7,700 on FanDuel, 8,500 on DraftKings. He's earned a quality start in 6 of his last 7 starts. He's not a high strikeout guy, so he's not going to get a lot of strikeouts most likely, but he also doesn't get blown up. So he kind of makes for a solid, safe value play on a smaller slate. So I can use him and pay up for some bats.
It's funny because I followed his dad's career, Paul Quantrill, for the Kansas City Royals, and same kind of pitcher as his son. Not a bunch of strikeouts, but went deep in games, got innings. He was a key part of the old Royals championship team with Brett and company. So it's amazing how the apple does not fall far from the tree. But I think that's a decent play. I went a different direction, and I think it's going to be fairly contrarian because of the opponent, but I'm going to give the old man Michael Wacha a shot for my value pitcher.
Okay.
You know, he's 3-1 with a 243. He's pitching fine. He's a controlled pitcher. Yes, the Angels are tough. It's in LA, but they have a few guys scuffling. Trout's in a slump. Ohtani's not exactly red hot. There are some strikeouts at the bottom of that lineup. You know, a little bit of a scary spot, but he's only 7,400 on DraftKings, only 7,000 on Fanduel, and just $35 on Yahoo. So as an SP2, you know, we're not going to get, this isn't going to be one of those days where you have 250+ point scoring pitchers.
Right.
So I think Wacha slides in, and I think he can get it done enough to be a decent SP2.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, fade, sir.
My fade is going to be Robbie Ray. He's the most expensive pitcher on both sites. He has a tough matchup in Houston. They have some bats in Jose Altuve and Kyle Tucker that have given him trouble in the past. Jordan Alvarez has been hitting lefties well of late. Jeremy Pena, the rookie shortstop, is 326 against lefties. So
nice.
He hits lefties very well. Houston also has the 6th lowest strikeout rate, and they have the 2nd lowest in their last 3 games. So they don't strike out a lot, and I think they can give Ray a lot of trouble.
I agree. I mean, he's my number 1 fade as well. And, you know, people are going to go to him. Even though he's super expensive, it's a short slate. The pitching's not good. People are going to say, well, listen, I'll just take what I can get from him. And he is projected high on, PrizePicks and everything where you look at his numbers. I just don't think he's pitching well, and I think it's a terrible matchup for him. So I'm with you there. I'm also going to throw a second guy into the mix here that I think could be the 2nd highest owned pitcher. So this, even though it's a small slate, I'm going to be super contrarian today. I don't like Carlos Carrasco today.
I don't either.
And I know he's 6-1 with a 3.63 ERA. But if you look at all of his numbers and you look at all the statistics, there's so much regression coming from this guy. He is so lucky to be 6-1. And I know, he's got a decent fastball, etc. But it's in San Diego. San Diego has some nasty bats that can get after him. They, even with Hosmer and Cronenworth and Grisham, they have some lefties. Profar's a switch, so he'll bat lefty. He's a switch hitter. Top of the lineup probably. I just don't like the spot for Carrasco where I think he's going to be highly owned. And he's 9,300, 8,500, and 41 respectively. So he's not super high priced. I have a feeling you're going to see a lot of Ray Carrasco lineups or one or the other for sure. And I just, I think San Diego can get to him. The big question, will be what is that leverage going to be? So I think there's a great opportunity on a small slate, to be different enough in pitching where you can really stack up the hitters.
Yeah, I totally agree, Coach. My BVP play is going to be Jose Altuve, 3,600 on Fanduel, 5,300 on DraftKings. He's hitting 429 with 6 hits and 14 at bats against Robbie Ray. He's got 2 singles, 3 doubles, and a triple. So I like Altuve here. It's a strong matchup, and there's not too many pay up guys on this slate. So I think that he's one that's worth the money.
He's mine as well. And he's even walked twice. I know it's a small sample size, but that's what BVP is all about. And we believe in it. And it pays off for us 9 times out of 10. So I love Altuve today. Again, a lot of people that are going to roster Ray are just not going to take Houston guys. So I think that'll, deplete their ownership a little bit. And I think he's really a sound play for sure. So I'm with you on that one completely. Let's do HR. It seems to go better when we do BVP, then HR, then we'll wrap it up with stacks.
Okay.
My HR play is going to be from the same game. I'm going with Bregman versus Ray. I just think he gets in trouble in this game at the top of that Houston lineup. And I think that they can really take advantage of him 1 through 6. And again, having some of those Houston guys in there with a lot of people playing Ray, I think is going to be a big advantage.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with Vlad Guerrero Jr. He is only hitting 164 against lefties, but I think that Toronto's going to knock him out of the game, Lynch out of the game fairly early, and then Guerrero will be, matched up against a righty out of the bullpen that he can hit better. And he's hit a home run in 2 of his last 3 games, which I know, shout out to you, that you made that call the other day about how he was about to get hot, and he definitely has. He's hit, I think, in 4 of his last 6 games now, he's hit a home run. So
he was in a pretty hellacious slump there, but when you watch a guy a little bit and you see his outs when they're crisp and they're seeing the ball, you just know it's a matter of time. That's the amazing thing with baseball. It's well, I mean, you can see it in some sports. If a guy's getting shots and they're off, like for example, Klay Thompson, he's just not shooting the ball right. He's not right. Yeah. His ball's flat, it's short, it's low. So it's not like he's a guy that's about to explode. Mm-hmm. Similar in baseball, when you see guys watching the strike zone, and Vladdy doesn't usually chase anything. Yeah. He's disciplined up there. So same kind of thing. That's the key factor when people say the eye test doesn't matter. We go against all, a lot of our opponents out there will say, don't pay attention to eye test stuff. Just look at the numbers. Don't look at small sample size like BVP. Just crunch it all in an optimizer and live by that. Well, that's fine and good if you're playing $10,000, $15,000 or more a night,
right?
150 max entry thing, but it's still not good enough because, just like we're saying, we see those trends coming. Guys like Vlad, when we pointed that out and he stepped up. We just see that a lot in games. You can really observe, and if you know what you're watching and looking for, we believe that makes the biggest difference. So come and check us out, dfscoachtalk.com. Again, we hand build lineups. We give really good clipboards or core plays for DraftKings, full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo. And we had a heck of a month of May, especially the last 2 weeks of May, and we're off to a good start in June. And we're giving all of that information out right now for baseball, obviously the NBA Finals, PGA Golf, and now we've added NASCAR and MMA. So a great time to get involved with us here at Coach Talk. And it says $10 for 3 days if you want to just dip your toes in the water. So good spot to put that. All right. Let's talk about stacks. Obviously, I like what I think will be a lower owned stack than normal in the Houston Astros because Robbie Ray's pitching against them. Yeah. Great spot. We've sort of beat that like a dead horse. I also like Toronto today. I just think they're in a nice spot. Some of their bats are starting to wake up. They're fairly inexpensive. You can get some of those guys now. Yes, the Bichettes and stuff and Guerreros are expensive, but the middle of the order guys like Hernandez and some, although I'm a little ticked off at some of these. I gotta say this because it's a funny story, and our members will enjoy this too. I try to be mild-mannered. I try to be professional and not get off, because there's so many. You'll be a part of communities, and there's just so many people just ranting and raving, and just it's horrible. Yeah. But luckily, we have something called Coach Chat, where it's just the team Coach Talk. Yeah. And I let off a little bit of a swearing lace tantrum. If you watch the game, I had Gausman as my key guy yesterday, and the sad thing is, I cashed everywhere, and Gausman didn't do anything. So it would have been boxcars day. But if you watch the first inning, there was like the most routine fly ball ever to Teoscar Hernandez, and he dropped it. And then there was a foul ball, same thing to Vladdy. He dropped it. Yeah. Same inning, first inning. And I'm thinking, is this possible? And of course, it cost Gausman. He had to pitch like 30 pitches, and it was just a disaster. But anyway, I had a laugh because I had to apologize even to our team. That's how let's just say there may have been some MFers in there.
Just a few. It's funny though, because it wasn't really the fact that because at first they had given him 3 earned runs, which
That's
was
the part that was
ridiculous.
steaming me.
But they changed that. But like you said, it still took him up to 31 pitches in that first inning, which killed him for the rest of the game. So
it did. But anyway, don't let it get the best of you. But it does bite us all sometimes.
yeah.
But the good part about if you join with us in our Discord, we really try to stay away from that as best we can. Even though, me not being the example, but I didn't do it in our main chat. But I had to own up to it because I did it in all caps with a real punch. And it was like crickets in our coach chat for a while.
You took it to the locker room.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, and my last one I want to mention is Boston. I just like the way they're hitting up and down that lineup. Again, I think that, you're going to have a lot of people steer from that game because I think they'll play the opposing pitcher. A little bit. Syndergaard will get some play, but it's in LA. I just think Boston's a sneaky stack here against Syndergaard. He's not the same man. There's no doubt.
Definitely not.
No, his arm's not there. So, that's a death group when you go Devers and Martinez, Bogarts, Verdugo. You have Story all the way down to 6th. That tells you how stacked they are hitting. Yeah. So, I like Boston a little bit as a sneaky late stack.
Yeah, I like those stacks as well. I've got Toronto and Houston. I do like the Padres a little bit, like you're talking about against Carrasco. I think that's a good matchup. They're going to have a lot of confidence after what they did in Milwaukee, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes. But Cronenworth is one of my top plays on the slate, so I definitely like the lefties, like you mentioned, for San Diego.
Very good. We're on the same page, and it's fairly contrarian too. That's what's cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to our PrizePicks plays, and thank you to our PrizePicks sponsors of this podcast, prizepicks.com. Use that promo code CoachTalk. Get that free $100 on your first deposit. Who's your first PrizePicks play?
It's going to be my value pitcher, Cal Quantrill, over 26.5 fantasy score. I feel like that's a very attainable number for him. As I mentioned, he's got 6 of his last 7 starts. He had a quality start. So if they get the win, he gets a quality start. It should be pretty, doable for him to get over 26.5. I haven't projected about 33. So
very nice. I'm going to go with part of that Houston stack, like we mentioned, and he's also my BVP play is Jose Altuve over 7. I expected 8, so I was real thrilled to see 7, not even 7.5. So Jose Altuve over hitter fantasy score 7 is my top play.
I had that as my second play.
Too bad.
Let me take what's his face? Jake Cronenworth.
What's his face? Over or under for what's his face? You want me to go so you can
6? Okay, I'll take the over. I'll take the over there. Jake Cronenworth over 6 fantasy score. Okay,
that's only 6, huh?
Yeah, that's low.
That is low. That makes sense. And I'm going right to the 2 pitchers I said to fade. I'm going to go Robbie Ray under fantasy scores 27.5, and Carlos Carrasco under fantasy score 30.5. I don't like the spot for either one of them. I have both of them 2-3 points under those projections on PrizePicks. So I'm going to take under those 2 pitchers.
Okay, so it was Ray under 27.5, and what was the other one?
Carlos Carrasco under 30.5 fantasy score.
That's weird. Why does he have a higher fantasy score?
Because he strikes out more guys, I think, right now. And they figure he'll get some points that way. But considering the odds and the way everything is, you would think that they'd at least be equal. It was a surprise. I thought it was a little high for him, to be honest.
I think Blake Snell looks a little high too, 30.5. They're
going on the old Blake Snell,
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, for what he's been doing, he should be around like 20.5. But
Yeah, he's had a rough time. But the scary part about him is you never know when he's going to string like 5 Ks in a row together or something.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm not real confident in that play either. You have anybody else, or you're good?
Jose Ramirez, he was my original home run call before the weather situation. So if that game plays, I like the over at 8.5 fantasy score. He's been very good against right-handed pitchers, and he's gone over 8 in 4 of his last 6 games. So
Excellent. And if you're checking this out here and looking to set those lineups up, neither one of us put any players in from that Cincinnati game. It looks pretty dim. I think that game's going to cancel, but we will be updating that throughout the day in Discord for our members, and then we'll be on Twitter as well. If that game does happen to play, we'll be rotating to some guys in there, but I don't think it goes. The only other game that's really in question would be Cleveland. My gut tells me Cleveland plays from looking at the weather. Maybe a possibility of a delay, but I doubt it. I think Cleveland goes, Cincinnati doesn't. But again, it's early Monday morning, so we'll update that as the day goes on.
yeah.
Anything else from your side there, Crash?
No, like we've been saying, it's a smaller slate. So, hopefully we can get some good leverage against the field and have some low-owned home runs, hopefully.
Outstanding. All right, everyone. Enjoy your Mondays. It's Money Monday here at Coach Talk. Go to dfscoachtalk.com. Check us out. If you want to follow us along on Twitter throughout the day, you can follow all of us at DFS Coach Talk. I'm at Joe Sarvati, and Josh is at JP Davis 1982. I almost screwed it up. So you can follow him there as well. So thank you for spending a little time with us on your Monday. We hope you have a fantastic week, and we hope you start off with some takedowns and some big winners on the MLB slate. And of course, we will be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS and PrizePicks.